This week I'm driving the 2021 Ford Ranger Tremor. It's an upgrade over the FX4 package off-road wise. It's not yet the Raptor model because we don't have access to this model yet in North America, but still this is a pretty off-road capable model, the Tremor. So the Tremor package is going to add a few different style-wise and also some off-road features. First of all, we can recognize the Tremor with the grille. We have a gray, black, and some red accent here on this Ranger. These accents remind me a little bit of the Mustang RTR. We've got a painted front bumper. We've got some tow hooks. We've got also skid plates underneath the truck to protect the engine and transmission. On the side, we can notice some 32 inches tires. These are general grabblers. And you may recognize those wheels. They're really similar to the ones you'll find on a Raptor. The design is pretty much the same. Suspension wise, we've got some Fox shock suspension in the front and also in the back. Different spring, different sway bar, everything to be more off-road capable on this side. Also, this Ranger's got about 0.8 inches of lift, so it's a little bit higher than a normal Ranger. On the side here, we've got some really nice steps. This is part also of the Tremor package. So we've got one for the front door and one for the rear door. I really like that style of side step. And finally, if we step in the back, I don't know what's going on here this week, but we're supposed to have a decal of the Tremor. So if we go on the other side, we can see that decal. So it's part of the package. You can also opt for the other sticker decal package. There's another package that's gonna have like big decals all over your Ranger so people can really notice you're driving a Tremor. Also with this Tremor package, you got a rear locking differential only in the back, not in the front. If you compare the Ranger Tremor with the Colorado ZR2, the ZR2 is able to lock front and back differential. So that's a down point for the Ranger. Under the hood of the Ford Ranger, there's only one powertrain available. If you're looking at the Canyon, Colorado, and others, there's always a base engine, a V6 or a diesel option. There's only one option at Ford, and it's the 4-cylinder 2.3 liter turbo EcoBoost, good for 270 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 10-speed transmission. From my point of view, I wish we could have the 2.7 liters EcoBoost V6 under the hood. It would be way much more fun to drive, more power, and probably a better fuel economy. All right, on the road with the Ranger Tremor this week. You know, I had fun driving this Ranger Tremor. You know, the Fox suspension does their job, you know, on the road and also off-road. I think it's a great setup for the Ranger. And just the way it's handled on the road, I really like it. On top of that, I really like those seats inside of this Ranger. I think they're really comfortable. It makes a great ride inside of this Ranger. Usually, you know, when you're inside of a mid-size pickup truck, you need to do some sacrifice on the ride. You know, when I was driving the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon or the Colorado ZR2, these are pretty harsh on the road. They ride pretty rough and the seats are not the best. Inside of this Ranger, I've got plenty of space for my legs, my shoulders. There are cushy seats, you know. And inside, you've got some Tremor touch, I could say. You get those spatial seats, a Tremor with the stitching on it and some suede. And also, you've got some auxiliary switches on top of your screen. So if you want to add some off-road lights and all that. These are pretty much the only modification you'll find inside for the Tremor. Otherwise, it's the same, you know, Ranger. From my point of view, it feels kind of old, you know, inside of the Ranger. You know, the cluster in front of me reminds me of the Ford Escape 2013. You know, it feels old. These clusters been on Ford products for a while. Same thing for the sync system and all that. You know, the Ranger, it's still an older truck, I could say, in the mid-size, you know, market and all that. The Tacoma and also the Colorado Canyon and all that. All of these interiors feels pretty old. Only the Gladiator's got a new interior, I could say, who can really beat the competition. Otherwise, the mid-size, you know, market, it's always old school inside. But otherwise, you know, I think the Tremor is a great package. You know, it's around 5 to 6 grand to add on your truck, but you don't need to buy like this one, the Lariat model, to add those off-road capacities to your truck. You can add this Tremor package to lower trim level. That's a big plus for the Tremor package. If you compare it to a ZR2 or Rubicon and all that, these models can get really expensive. I know the Tremor is not really built to compete against these models. It will be probably the Ranger Raptor, but it's not available in North America. But still, the Tremor is a great package for that. It adds you a lot. You know, you get that rear differential, you can lock. You've got your knob here to switch for high, for low. You've got different terrain mode, you can switch. That's a lot of fun. That's easy to use also on this Ranger Tremor. Performance-wise, you can do the 0 to 100 kilometers in about 6.1 seconds. It's pretty decent, you know. This little engine, it's pretty powerful. It's got decent amount of torque. But for my point of view, that engine is too small for you know, the size of this mid-size pickup. Ideally, I think it should have the V6 2.7 liters EcoBoost. That would be a great match for this size of truck. More power, better fuel economy. Speaking of fuel economy, it's not great, especially with bigger tires. This week I was averaging around 14.2 liters per 100 kilometers. You can do better numbers with an F-150. I do these kind of numbers with my Yukon Denali with the V8 6.2 liter of 420 horsepower. I think, yes, this engine is too small. You know, it's always, you know, struggling a little bit to carry that weight. I think that size of engine was great for a Focus RS or something like that. From my point of view, it needs something bigger. And if you're following the rumors and all that, I think at GM with the Canyon in the Colorado, I think they're gonna put the new 4-cylinder 2.7 liters turbo, similar size of engine as the EcoBoost you'll find at Ford, but GM is using a 4-cylinder and Ford is doing a V6. But I think the 2.7 liter displacement is the right size for this mid-size pickup truck. One big plus for the Tremor package, you don't sacrifice on towing and also on payload. That's a big plus, because usually when you have more off-road capacities like the Raptor, the TRX and other models, you have to sacrifice on towing and also on payload and all that. But with the Tremor package, there's no sacrifice. So I think, you know, Ford is doing a good job with those new Tremor package. You can get also the Tremor package in the Super Duty and soon also with the F-150. So if you don't want to step up to the full all-out, you know, Raptor model in the F-150, you can opt for the Tremor. And if you're a Ford Ranger fan and you were hoping to get the Raptor, at least you can get the Tremor. I think the main reason why we don't have the Raptor here in North America, it's mainly the powertrain they're using in other countries. That powertrain didn't pass yet the EPA and all that, and I think Ford didn't want to invest, you know, all this money in a market that wasn't sure it's going to be successful. And also it's a niche market when you're talking about Raptor, Ranger and all that. I think if you really want a Ranger Raptor, you're gonna have to wait for the new generation of Raptor, and probably then Ford's gonna bring the Raptor trim. So this week, the model I'm driving, it's a Lariat model, and on top of that, Ford had the Tremor package. So it's good for 54,000 Canadian. Still a pretty expensive, you know, a mid-size pickup. Obviously, you can get a brand new F-150 with the new interior and all that for the same price. I think when we're looking at the mid-size truck market, you really have to love this kind of size and packaging and all that. From my point of view, there's no, you know, point to buy a mid-size when you like it, you know, 1500 or F-150. I think other than the actual size, you get way much more for your money when you're opting for a F-150. Obviously, more power, more capacities, better fuel economy, more space inside, etc. You know, you really have to dig those sides. You know, they're easier to park. Maybe also they're gonna be a little better in the trail for off-roading. That's a plus for the Ranger. But overall, these mid-size trucks are really expensive for what you get. So let me know in the comments, do you think the Tremor package for the Ranger is capable to compete against the TRD Pro, Rubicon, ZR2 and all that? Or Ford needs to bring the Raptor model? From my point of view, the Tremor have a big advantage on the competition because of the price, and you're able to add this package on top of a lower trim level, so the truck's going to be less expensive. When we're looking at Gladiator, Rubicon, sometimes they're more than 70,000 Canadian. That's really expensive, especially if you want to do some off-roading with it. So I think that's a big plus if you're looking to get something not super fancy, but having some off-road capacity. I think the Tremor package is the way to go. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos, and we're gonna see each other on the next review.